let me tell you something. I love the game so far. Okay, I love the game so far, but the reality is, if you're waiting 8 years and you think this is going to be Star Citizen, you know what I mean? Then, or what Star Citizen was promised to be, like the freedom of like being able to, the freedom of being able to basically fly around everywhere, does not exist. There's a lot of hand holding. This is an incredibly streamlined open world RPG. Okay, and I think the mainline plots are very handholdy, and I think people don't like that. There's also not a lot of diversity in how you can tackle issues. I think in the era of like Baldur's Gate, in the era of like so many fully open world sandbox games, people kind of expect you to marry the concept of a fully flushed out universe that looks beautiful with endlessly breakable environments and like endless different ways of tackling problems. And I think that that is not what you're getting here. This is a pretty decently designed shooter. It can get a little bullet spongy from time to time. Like I said, I'm too early to give you like a full review, but on top of that, it's like the movement is fluid. The game, I think, looks good. I don't think it's like as ugly as people declare it to be. There's still going to be like the NPC awkwardness, obviously. No matter what happens, it's just Fallout 4 in space. Yeah, it is. If you expect it to be Fallout 4 in space with even better shooting mechanics, in my opinion, than Fallout 4, because like there is no VAT system here, right? This is just straight up. You can play it like a pure shooter if you want to, which I think is pretty cool. I think being able to straight up play this as a pure shooter is a benefit. It adds to its universality, its universal appeal. Yeah, I think it's a great game overall, but it's not Star Citizen levels of like hop on a spaceship and then like fly everywhere, which is ironic because every single person, in my opinion, that would have hopped on a spaceship, they would have done it like 3 times. And then they would also be doing the loading screen simulator that the game forces you into doing anyway. So that's why I feel like they just decided, yeah, you can't do that. And they moved on. Okay? They were like, no, you can't do that. There's no like flying the endless spaces, and you're just going to do fast travel simulator. Because let's be real. As a person who's played every single Elder Scrolls game with the exception of the online one since Morrowind, yeah, of course you want to fucking fast travel. That's crazy. You have to fast travel. It's ridiculous. Like, it's the worst. It is the absolute fucking worst. I mean, yeah, that's 3 games. And not just Elder Scrolls, sorry, and Fallouts as well, except for New Vegas. Yeah, it's an RPG. It's not a sim. And people want it. People want everything. I think people want everything. That's what it is. People want RPG components, but they also want sim components. I think they want No Man's Sky, but then No Man's Sky has to be married with like actual combat. Copium, literally loading screen at every door, no matter what. Yeah. It's a good game. Well, they kind of advertised it as that. Yeah, but regardless of what they advertised it as, you would fucking hate it if it was just like a walking sim everywhere. I mean, it would have been nice if they had like a quad or something that you could drive on planets with, but like, I don't know. If you look at my older speculation on what Starfield was going to look like, you would realize that I was pretty much on the money with the planets. I told you that it was not going to be this like endless, expansive planet that they were just going to randomize. They were going to randomize encampments on planets, and then you were basically just going to go there and fight, and it was going to have like a Far Cry style, relatively Like, it was just going to be empty as fuck. Like, there's no way they could have done artificial intelligence in, like, towns in every fucking planet. Like, it was just impossible. It's currently physically impossible to be able to do that. Procedurally generated content is almost always the worst. Yeah. It's just not. Procedurally generated planets, this content needs to die, I swear to God. But then if you don't do that, chatter, if you don't do procedurally generated planets as content, then you're going to say, well, it's not as large. Without the expansive universe, okay, even the feel of an expansive universe, then all of a sudden you're just playing like a super streamlined, super linear shoot 'em up action RPG. Right? So they are playing this tedious, very delicate balance game. They're doing a very delicate balancing act. Okay? And that's what they did. And I think overall, it's pretty fun so far. One of the only criticisms that I've seen about this game that I saw online that is like very complainy and very like left Twitter shit that I actually agree with was when Sam Coe was promoted, someone quote tweeted it and was like, I'm begging for developers to like do Afrofuturism or like some other kind of fucking culture beyond like the endless expansion, Manifest Destiny style libertarian space cowboys. And I do agree with that. Because the reality is, it is, as much as I love cowboys, as much as I love Westerns, holy moly, have they fucking ran this meta into the goddamn ground. Like, I love Cowboy Bebop. Space cowboys are my shit. I love space westerns. I love westerns and I love space, okay? I love the marriage of those two things. But if you're going to have such a ginormous world, like, just fucking add something else. You know what I mean? Add something else in there. There are so many different cultures that you could add. Make a world far away that is an indigenous tribe that lost access to technology after they planted themselves in a faraway land. You know what I mean? An indigenous tribe that operates in a communal capacity. Make fucking space Wakanda. You know what I mean? Like, these are concepts that we could explore that would be sick. Like, I feel like they don't really do that much in this game. Black Russians' thoughts? I thought that was awesome. Vladimir. I was not expecting Vladimir to just straight up be a black dude who also still had a very thick Russian accent. So, I think that overall, that in and of itself, certainly is like a bit of an L. But other than that, it's great. I mean, it's just fucking awesome. The game is great. It's fun. It's expansive. It's Fallout in space. Do you want to play Fallout in space? This is the game. Do you want some other shit? Then this is not the game. I don't know. Do you want Starfield or do you want Star Citizen? If you want Star Citizen, which, by the way, you can't even play Star Citizen on Star Citizen. You know, you want a space sim? Play a space sim. This is not a space sim. It gives you the skeleton of a space sim when you sit in the cockpit and you see all the stuff and you see the flight mechanics, which, by the way, work infinitely better on the motherfucking Steam Deck or like with a controller. That is an L. They really boofed this on the PC side. They made this game for the Xbox. They did not make this game for the goddamn PC. Okay? Which is really frustrating because it should be for the PC as well as the Xbox. But it's very frustrating that like modern gaming basically hyper focuses on the console shit. It's not perfectly optimized for the PC. I can't believe I'm becoming one of these like annoying PC master race Andys. But you know, it's just it's frustrating. It's not perfectly optimized for the PC, as we already have seen. Okay, Like it should be running way better on my PC with a fucking 4090 in it. And on top of that, like the user interface and some of the controls are dumb as fuck. And it's very obvious that like they created it with limitations baked in specifically because they wanted it. They wanted such a massive game to be played with a controller. They wanted this to be a console game. That's it. It's very obvious. It's very obvious when you play with a controller and you fly the spaceship around with a controller versus when you fly the spaceship and you have to like go through the different, like you have to press Alt and use WASD to like switch over power modules from like your gravity drive to like your engine. You know what I mean? Like it works a lot easier on the controllers. That phase when you can afford an expensive gaming PC, but somehow you can't afford a $20 gamepad. That phase when I have like 1,000 fucking gamepads sitting right here, but obviously a keyboard and mouse setup is infinitely better for a fucking shooter, which is why I want to use a keyboard and mouse setup. And that like all I'm simply asking is for better optimization for the PC. That's not that difficult of a thing to do. That's crazy. Like, what do you think? I don't have fucking... You think I don't have controllers here? I have literally an Xbox controller, 2 PS5 controllers. I have a fucking Switch controller right in front of me. I'm a streamer. I'm a gamer. What are we talking about here? I already have all that. It's not the lack of having a controller. I also am playing it on the controller so I can test it out on the Steam Deck right now. One of the things about the focus on consoles is you have a very well-defined spec around what you're trying to build as a developer and a better idea of the market. So, on top of that, the Steam Deck, the Steam Deck gaming, obviously, definitely not great. It doesn't run well on Steam Deck. Let's keep it $150. Okay, let me tell you. The fact that I can play on a Steam Deck is incredible to me, I think. So I'm happy regardless. Like, I'm willing to take a fat L on quality, on frames, on everything. Okay? But the reality that motherfucking Steam Deck has single-handedly killed gaming streams and I hate it. I think you guys have to understand something that I keep repeating myself over and over on this. I am a content creator. And if I have 11,000 people in here by the end of like 3 hours of gaming, that means that the content that I'm creating is unfortunately not as broadly popular as I would want it. That is the only thing that kills gaming. It is not the Steam Deck. Especially because so many of you that keep claiming that, I'm not gaming over and over again are quite literally not watching me game. It doesn't matter. Like, even Matt Stupidart, been a long-term community guy. Okay? Long-term community.
Eyes wide open, got my mind all over, and I don't want it to end, no. And when we're older, we pretend we're sober, so I'm living it out, feeling so high. And oh, I wanna figure it out before.
Guy was like, dude, come on, please play it on the fucking, please play it on stream. I'm like, bro, I've been playing it. I played like 5 hours of this game on stream, and a lot of you are not even aware of it. It's just, and I'm not even blaming you. Watching games like watching variety streamers talk about politics, that's not true, because the reality is it's just gaming. Like, there is nothing that is that convoluted or complicated about making it work. I hope you get a GPD Win 4. It's more than 2x as powerful as Steam Deck and it's pretty. Starfield has dropped off in views for every streamer. Yeah, I think it's just not. The reality is, it's not that fun of a game to watch. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's that fun of a game to watch. It's a really fun game to play, but it's not like a easy watch. Same with like Yakuza, for example. You know what I mean? Like these are games that are super narrative focused, super great. RPGs, unfortunately, especially story heavy single player RPGs, not exactly a lot of fun to watch for many people. You know what I mean? So, Detroit Become Human, great for stream. Elden Ring and Soulsborne games, great for stream. Scary games, great for stream. I would never play a scary game off stream. Anyway, it's okay though. Guys, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. I'm just like always explaining this kind of stuff for no reason, but classic.
Don't get too used to how easy this has been. Next thing might be toxic hazards or worse. Watch it.
People want to complain about everything. Isn't this literally the tutorial area? Yes. I mean, guys, come on. Like, when I landed in Mars in the game, one of the first things that happened was a world event. In Mars, on the planet, you often have these tectonic shocks, right? And you walk into the fucking bar right as it was happening. And I thought it was a scripted event that was timed specifically for, I thought it was a scripted event that was timed specifically for when you were having a conversation with a bartender. It was not. You want to know why I know it was not scripted for the bartender? Because the bartender didn't even fucking react to it. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, you're really just not even going to say something about it? Not even going to be like, not even have a talking point option for it? It's little things like that. Those little details that make the world significantly more immersive. And I'll be honest with you, as much as I like the game, okay? As much as I like the game, you know where that never would have happened? Red Dead Redemption. RDR2, that world event happens, it's timed 1,000,000%. The NPCs are reacting to it. 1,000,000% you have an option to react to it. It's just going to happen. That is a more lively world. And this world is pretty lively. There's a lot of cool stories, a lot of cool side stories. I found myself diving last night when I was playing on Steam Deck. I found myself diving into missions because I always like to do the side missions when I'm not streaming, so I can like get a better feel for the world. And it's great. I went down to the wall in the main area. Where it's like the poor neighborhood, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be the dangerous neighborhood. And I was doing some side missions there. And it's still great, right? It's still great. It's still fun. I think it's just that people want to... I think people want more out of it. People expect more out of it, which is understandable.
That neon fella. I missed it. How'd it go?
And then you have this, of course.
Hi there. Welcome to Terror Brew. How can I help you?
I need a coffee. Stat.
RDR2, you can barely deviate from the story path. No, you're missing what I'm trying to say here. On RDR2, if world events are happening, the world feels alive. There's so many different things, so many little things that the devs just added in there that, first of all, you're not even right, by the way, as far as RDR2 goes. But the immersiveness of the world is just all over your face. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, every little nook and cranny that is explorable will have like a tiny thing for you, a story for you. It's a massive playground.
I can't believe they raptured my coffee guy. Oh, he's right here.
Thanks for choosing Terra Brew. Well, certainly. Please take your time.
I think he's sinking now. I need a Terracino, dude.
Is really good at simulating the world, especially how slow and boring life can be. Yeah. Same reason why BG3 feels so crazy. Yeah. The dynamic ways you can interact any and all strangers in RDR2 is wild. So it's stuff like that. There is something from every game that this game features, and there is more that it should have featured, but I don't even know if it's physically possible to fucking put it in there. You know what I mean? Like, you look at your beautiful spaceship, and there's so much customization options on your fucking spaceship, but then you're not really like flying around with it. You know what I mean? You're not really flying around with it, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, why the fuck am I, like, why did I work on this for so long? Like, it gives you the option of basically making it a space sim if you want to, but then refuses to let you actually enjoy the space sim aspect of it if you want. Yeah, your spaceship is literally a building that lets you fast travel, which is fine. I think that most people would probably choose to fast travel anyway, myself included, but I think that's why some people were like, well, what the fuck? Why is this option not there? You can scan in ship and travel there without accessing the map. The game doesn't tell you this. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're just grav jumping still. You know what I mean? Because things are super far away. And there's nothing in between, though. You know what I mean? I've done that as well. Because, like, I've done that as well. I have the grav jump to an area which is basically a manual fast travel. It's actually a metaphor. You work really hard on making something nice just so you then don't get to enjoy the fruits because your boss gets it. Yeah. I think you get involved in more dogfights later on. I do wish the grav jump was a bit more manual, though. I mean, I think the grav jump not being manual is normal. You never grav jump. You never grav jump. You can't. I don't think you can ever grav jump and, like, control it. That part is fine. My point is, NMS, you do? Yeah, I think I've never played No Man's Sky, and I think a lot of people are like saying that this game is not like No Man's Sky, which is hilarious because No Man's Sky, when it first came out, it seems like was not even a playable game, and it's like good now. But No Man's Sky.
Your kiss, I need the caption on the main page. I won't be locked in your cage. Break with what I've built. We can't go on without you. I hope you feel the same mood. The caption on the main page. I won't be locked in your cage. Can't go on without you. I hope you feel the same mood.
Give it a month for modders to fix the game. Yeah. Bro, these are two different genres. You like turn-based RPG, go to BG3. You like classic, more free RPG in space. Yeah, BG3, comparing BG3 to this game is ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, that's insane. Especially for someone who doesn't really like turn-based combat like myself. Like, BG3 is expansive. It's endless. Like, the opportunities and the freedom are endless, but it's also turn-based combat. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, this game is entirely different. No Man's Sky is very shallow in terms of gameplay, but amazing in terms of immersion. Bethesda releases mid-games that you can play for 250 hours. It's immersive enough, but never goes beyond. No Man's Sky actually has seamless space-to-ground travel. Starfield is a Bethesda game through and through in a good way, but also in a bad way. Anyway, comparing an RPG to an RPG is ridiculous. Yes, comparing an ARPG or a shooter RPG to a turn-based wizard RPG is ridiculous. What the fuck? Especially in this day and age. Especially in this day and age when video games are like, they all have RPG components pretty much. Like, what are we talking about? Then everything's an RPG. Call of Duty is an RPG. You know what I mean? You absolutely have to specify what kind of RPG it is. Call of Duty has skill trees, man. You know? So, let's be honest, probably Bethesda's least disastrous launch. Sure. BG3 also has no sandbox elements. That's the point. It's a D&D campaign. So glad I didn't pay for Starfield. The game is shite. The only comparable thing, and even then is a stretch, is a dialogue with persuasion. Yeah, you have skill checks. You do technically a dice roll that you don't see in fucking all of the Bethesda games as well. you do persuasion skill checks. Technically, it's the same, I guess. But yeah, it's a good game overall. I think RDR2 nostalgia comes from being inside from COVID. I dreamed of camping. RDR2 was my oracle. I will never forget. Bethesda's many scandals. Sick of Redditors trying to make me feel bad for enjoying new games. Yeah, I mean, it's a typical clown fiesta for a game that is good. So that's the point. It's good. It's fun. It's like, it's what you make of it. You know what I mean? Did you assume that this was going to be life-changing? Did you assume that this was going to have No Man's Sky baked in with like Mass Effect, baked in with fucking Fallout, baked in with like all this other shit where it was part sim, part space simulator, you're doing crazy dogfighting? Well, you know what I will say? I will say that it should have at least, if a game like Freelancer in like 2001 was capable of merging RPG elements and its shooting it's like obviously on the ground shooting shit wasn't great. But like if they were able to make like more space flight work, I think that this game should have featured it a little bit more as well. Maybe as time will tell, maybe there is more flying, but I think the lack of flying is a little crazy. Like, the only time you're flying is when you fucking jump to another planet and you're just kind of staring at the planet and there's like other spaceships around and you can hail them and talk to them. You know what I mean? It's like you hail them and you talk to them and that's fucking it. And it just feels kind of, it feels like it feels like a joke almost, right? Where you're just like fucking, you know, flying around. Obviously, I don't know how you close the distance because space is not like Red Dead Redemption. Like the vast, endless fields that you can traverse with your horse is not going to be the same as like going through the endless darkness of space, right? Because it's just too empty. There's just nothing there. You know what I mean? There's nothing for a long ass time. It's just a void. So I don't know how you get away with that, but I think what they could have done is maybe, just maybe, I'm saying this off of like I'm talking about this from like my visions of like Cowboy Bebop. They could have had like jump areas, right? Like you could jump, you could fast travel if you want, or you could at least like go through portals to jump, like gate to gate. You know what I mean? And those gate areas would have like maybe a bar, you know what I mean? Like a space bar or a ISI, which kind of exists already. But like if they had a warp gate from place to place, if people wanted to jump from place to place, if they wanted to like manually go, or even, yeah, Freelancer had highways and jump gates, and you could basically put like a livable area in the midst of that, like a small world, a much smaller world there, where there's like all these other spaceships that are flying around, and it wasn't just like you staring like you're playing a fucking artificial intelligence game or something. You literally staring at a fat ass fucking planet right in front of you that you can't really do anything with after you're done jumping. And there's like a brief moment where you can fight, do a little bit of dogfighting, or talk to some of the people that you hail. Like there should have been a little bit of movement, an allowance for movement in between. Like I think that's the one way that you can make up the distance. Like the planet is just there. It's like you might as well put a fucking JPEG in front of you, and you're flying outside of the planet, and your movement is very limited, or what you can do in that situation is very, very limited. When Will played No Man's Sky, he quit after it required him to fly for like 20 minutes straight unskippably to get to the first planet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That part is that's also bad. Like that's ridiculous. That would be fucking ridiculous. You can warp jump. It's not 20 minutes. Regardless, there's a lot of No Man's Sky fans in here. I see. Like I see you. I feel you. Okay, I haven't played the game. Maybe if I play it, I'll love it. As a Disco Elysium superfan, the fact that you can't micro-design your brain makes the game 0 out of 10. Okay. If you love Freelancer, play Everspace 2. It's Freelancer made in 2020. No, I mean, I'm fine. It's like saying it took an hour to walk to the next mission in GTA when you can drive. You do this talk every time you're about to drop a game from stream. No Man's Sky isn't an RPG, though. There isn't like any NPCs in it. Yeah, I was going to say, I've never played No Man's Sky, but I suspect that there isn't like fucking towns, stories, humans, all this shit that exists in this fucking game. It doesn't exist in No Man's Sky, right? Are there? That also is a lie. There are tons of NPCs. What? Oh, they added it? There are space stations and shit now. Okay, when the game first came out, it seems like it was a very different game. Okay, I'm going to go pee real quick, and I'm going to run this. We're doing okay, buddy, for now.
You dead face? I was Hasan's ugly friend who went to bars with him and watched him leave with women.
Okay, dude. But he's not ugly. He's just like, this is ridiculous.
You're not ugly. You're not ugly. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Yes, see, this is what I mean. He's not ugly. He just loves getting gassed up. Okay, that's what it is. I mean, I'll let him have his roses. Okay, that's what this is.
You think the model at a bar is like, oh, Hasan, you 6 foot human mattress? Let's get out of here. Oh, yeah, and bring your 5'11" ginger friend who's sweating a lot.
Okay, I was sweating a lot, too. Get the fuck out of here.
I want to get doubled down on. Bring the 5'11" ginger kid who made me laugh.
Okay, the way he's bringing that that's crazy. First of all, he's not even 5'11". He's just like, what a liar. He's not even 5'11". No man is 5'11". Every man is 6 foot tall. Okay?
I want to see what his dick looks like. It's not how the real world works! It's not how it works!
I've seen this already. And I was there when it happened. Morale launches a spatellite. Spatellite. My brother launched a satellite into space. Now it's time to strike, brother. Yes, brother. Our time has come. Oh, that's funny. That's true. We did that. We fucking did that, dude. No Man's Sky. Guess what, dude? How about we do that in IRL?